Okay. The next standard case which we are going to study is cantilever beam subjected to uniformly varying load. We have studied cantilever beam subjected to point load, cantilever beam subjected to uniformly distributed load, and cantilever beam subjected to uniformly varying load. We are going to study it now. This is little bit of tricky problem. See, for plotting shear force diagram and bending moment diagram, again we are going to consider the same procedure. That is, we are going to cut a section at xx, and then we are from this section we are going to form shear force and bending moment equation. Now this is a diagram wherein there is a beam of length L. It is subjected to UVL having a load intensity W. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to cut this beam at section XX at a distance x from this free end, and this is represented here. Now when I cut this section, whatever load intensity W was there, the same load intensity will not be there at this section. If I take load intensity as small wx, this will be the load intensity at this section, and W is the load intensity at this section. Okay, now how to find what is the load intensity Wx at this section? That is the question. For that, what we are going to use is we are going to use the property of similar triangle. See, if you consider this as a large triangle, okay, and then this as small triangle, both the triangles are having same angle at this point. Both the triangles are having same angle at this point, so they can be taken as similar triangles. From similar triangles, what I can do is height by base of bigger triangle is equal to height by base of smaller triangle. I can take, for bigger triangle height is W and base is L, so W by L is equal to, for smaller triangles it is Wx by x, so it is Wx by x. From here I should find what is the value of Wx, so I can write Wx is equal to W into x divided by L. So intensity of Wx will be equal to W into x divided by L. Then after finding the intensity of Wx at this section xx, next thing is convert this UVL into a point load. For that, again we are going to consider area of this triangle. Okay, for UDL we consider area of rectangle, for UVL we'll consider area of this triangle, and area is given by half base, which is x, into height, which is Wx by L. Look at this, I'm converting it into point load, so it is half height is Wx by L, which is this one, okay, into base is x, which is nothing but this base. So this point load will come out to be Wx into x will become x square by 2L. This is a point load, but where it is going to act? It is going to act at the centroid. Where is centroid? For triangle, centroid will be at a distance of x by 3 from this end, or 2x by 3 from this end. So from this end, the distance of point of application of load is x by 3. Okay. Now from using this diagram, wherein we are having force and a distance, I can derive shear force and bending moment equation. For deriving shear force and bending moment equation, I have considered the same diagram here. Load is Wx square by 2L at a distance of x by 3 from section xx, and total length is x. We all know that x varies from 0 at the right end of the beam to length L at the left end of the beam. So if I consider shear force at section xx, because of the forces, I need to add all the forces at right side of the cross section. There is only one force, that is Wx square by 2L, and direction is downward. For shear Okay, for shear force acting in downward direction at right side of the cross section, we take it as positive shear. Here I have represented minus sign, but minus sign should not be there. It is positive shear. So positive shear force, since there is only one force, I am taking directly that force as Wx square by 2L. It is positive, it should not be negative. Look at the variable x. X varies from 0 to L. The power, maximum power is 2. 2 in the sense parabolic variation. So when I am plotting shear force for this case, then the curve will be parabolic. For shear force, the curve will be parabolic. Now look how the variation is going to happen. See, in this equation, when x equal to 0, then shear force will become 0, because 0 into anything is 0. That means when this section comes to right end of the beam, that is x will become 0, then at that point shear force value is 0. Then to the extreme left of the beam, when x is equal to L, put x is equal to L in this equation, then shear force will become minus W, instead of x, L, so it will become L square divided by 2L. L and square will get cancelled, so remaining is minus W by L. So when x equal to L, the value is W by L. Sorry, minus should not be there. The same shear force diagram I have plotted in this graph. This is a zero shear force line, and at x equal to 0, the value of shear force is 0. But when x equal to L, the value of shear force is WL by 2. It is positive. In equation I have written negative, but it is positive, and the variation is parabola. So I have joined it using a curve. For getting bending moment equation, we need to consider force into perpendicular distance. To obtain bending moment with respect to xx, there is only one force, that is Wx square by 2L, and perpendicular distance is x by 3. Okay, and this force is trying to bend the beam in downward direction. With respect to xx, it is bending in downward direction, so we need to take minus. So bending moment equation will become minus, force is Wx square by 2L, and perpendicular distance is x by 3. When I further resolve this, it will become bending moment as minus W into x square into x will become x cube divided by 6L. Look at the power of the variable, it is 3. 3 in the sense variation is cubic. That means the curve will be more curvier than parabolic. Okay, then we will see what is the value of bending moment when x equal to 0, that is extreme right end, and when x equal to L, that is extreme left end. Okay, so when I substitute at x equal to 0 in this equation, 0 into anything will become 0. So bending moment is 0 at the extreme right end of the beam. Then when I substitute x equal to L in the above equation, it will become minus WL cube by 6L, minus WL cube by 6L. L will get cancelled, and here it will become square. So bending moment is minus WL square by 6. Now if I plot the value of bending moment onto the graph, when x equal to 0, that is at this section, the bending moment value was 0, and when x equal to L at this section, when x equal to L, the bending moment value is minus, so I am taking it below this 0 line. This is a 0 bending moment line, and since it is minus, I am representing it below the 0 line, and value is WL square by 6. It will be some value, so I am representing it with some height. And look at the curve, it is cubic, so I am bending the curve a little bit more than the parabolic curve. So this is how bending moment and shear force diagram looks for cantilever beam. Now again you need to remember here the variation. Shear force diagram for cantilever with UVL is parabolic, and for bending moment diagram for UVL is cubic. So this variation you need to remember it for solving problems. But the values, you need to remember these values, that is maximum shear force value at this section and maximum bending moment value at again this section. You need to remember them to solve problems or to understand concepts from fifth unit. Okay, you need to remember this maximum value. Why you need to remember maximum value is because when the shear force is maximum at this section, because of the shear force this section here only the beam is going to fail, and since bending moment is also maximum at this section, if the beam fails because of bending moment, it is going to fail at this section itself. So this section is very important, and the value are also very important, especially for fifth unit. You need to remember the variation also, and also the values, the maximum, bending moment and shear force values.